Well, good afternoon, my friends. I thought we would do a little bit of a stitch along today. Get some stitches in before Christmas. So I'm going to be working on Autumn Church. Yeah, I guess there's a bit of a story if you haven't heard already. Some of you have, some of you haven't. Um, yeah, would you believe? Yeah, let's just say the wackadoodle is at it again. Would you believe I am now back to not doing the 28 count, 22 count hard hanger fabric? The look just wasn't setting right with me. So when I tried the 28 count before, I was using the pattern that I had gotten that went into Cross Stitch Saga. And oh, my. That, you talk about confetti. That pattern gives whole new meaning to the word confetti. And I think that's the reason where I was, or the reason that I was so frustrated with it and had such a bulky back and gave up. And I went back to the 22 count hard hanger. And I don't know, as much as I tried and as much as I really like this chart and I really want to stitch this chart, I just was not loving that look. Now, had I been in the same situation that I was, say, a year ago, where I couldn't see it, I would have stuck with the 22 count. But since that whole situation is resolved, and I now have, and have had for a while now, the appropriate glasses, because for those of you that don't know, my previous optometrist had my prescription terribly wrong. And that's why I was having such blurry vision and headaches and all kinds of stuff. Where did I mess up here? Hold on a minute. I got one too many there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's because you didn't start over far enough. Okay, anyway. Now my glasses are correct. And actually, sitting right here, right this moment, with good light, I really don't even have my magnifiers on. And as long as I stay at the appropriate, for me, distance away, you know, if I'm up, oops, sorry, if I'm right up on it, I have trouble. If I'm back too far, I have trouble. But if I'm sitting here just like this, where it's, I don't know, about, I'm going to say 10 to 12 inches from my face, in all honesty, I can see this almost perfectly fine. So I don't even have my magnifiers on. So with that, since I really, not that I was unhappy, I just wasn't loving the look that I was getting. So I thought, okay, let's just try the 28 count again, because I don't have any 25 count anymore. I went through all that business of, okay, let's give it all away. You're never going to be able to do this again, because I thought I was never going to be able to do it again. And I did. And I gave it, and I'm not saying anything that I don't regret giving it away. I am glad that other people have it, that other people are enjoying and can use it. And that's perfectly okay, because I seriously thought that I was never going to be able to see this count fabric again. And it was like, well, why have it sit here collecting dust or whatever, taking up space, when I'm not going to be able to use it? Who knew it was as simple as, oh, gee, your prescription was wrong. Imagine that. Just imagine that. So anyway, I thought, okay, I'm going to try this 28 again. And I will tell you what, I am totally enjoying the look of this. It's a little hard to see because I'm zoomed in so terribly close, but the colors, let me see if I can. There you go. The colors are so rich. It doesn't really show up as well on the camera. Maybe if I see if I can adjust. Let me see. Maybe that's advanced. No, I thought maybe I could adjust my filters a little bit from here rather than try and mess up my camera. I don't want to jiggle these all around. I should have changed those settings. It's a little yellow. Okay, let me see if I can do it. Hold on. Here we go. It still isn't right. It isn't exactly. That's a little better, but they're really, really dark for me here. There we go. There we go. That's better. Okay, now let's get you back up here where you were. There you go. That's almost exactly like what it looks like in real life. And aren't those colors just outstanding? There we go. There we are. Yes, I just love the look of it. So very much better. So I am back to the 28 count and rather enjoying it. So isn't that what it's all about? Enjoy, stitch what you love, and love what you stitch. So, yes, and I also am back to, oh, it's like, do I want to park or don't I want to park? And I'm trying. Okay, you guys know me. How long do I stick with a particular technique? Well, maybe a day, maybe not. And I started out doing the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns or 5 diagonals, row by row. And golly, it takes long because I only have this little bit done and I've already been working on this a week. And it's like, oh, come on, this has to go a little bit faster than this. I want to finish it before 2030. So I'm trying the cross country within the diagonal, and I'm trying very hard to stick in the diagonal and only jump out of it when I have just 1 or 2 stitches close by, and then there would be nothing else. So that's kind of my plan at the moment. That's pretty much sort of what, well, not sort of, that's pretty much what I'm doing. And I will tell you, and you know, some people like them, some people don't like them, and it's okay. For me, and the way I stitch, and the tension that I use, when I use a ballpoint needle, it looks, to my eye, just as nice stitching cross country within the diagonal as it does where I went row by row. This is all cross country within the diagonal up here. This is row by row. And honestly, I see very little, if any, difference. So if I can do like 1 length of thread of the color, like when this thread runs out, which is going to be in the next few stitches, okay, I didn't mark it all off. 1, 2, there we go. I am going to go back up and get the next color, so that I'm not going to go down the whole length with this color, like, and start a new thread of the same color and continue down to the bottom of the diagonal. I'm going to go back up to the empty stitches and fill them in as I go down, and just keep switching between the colors that are called for. So here. So I think what I'm going to do is end this thread. I'm going to do 1 more stitch right here. And I have been attempting again the loop finish. And then I'll just take it down a couple rows and I'll clip that short. Okay. So I know that's not one to be used again. Okay, so now we'll go back up here. Now up here, these stitches in the first block of 10, I'm saving those for when, so it would be these stitches here. I'm going to pick them up when I do the next column. Okay, so where I'm going to work is here, down in this section here. So what I try and do is look at what stitches are there like few of and do those first. You can do it either way, because no matter how I've been doing it, my back has not been getting terribly bulky. So let's do those. And that's 3860. This is the other thing that gets me about these things. It's one color different. Seriously? I mean, seriously? I know, it's for the shading and the effect, and it's what makes them look real. I get that. But sometimes it can be a little on the annoying side, but that's all right. That's okay. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm going up here, and I have also been using a loop start to start. And again, that's something, you know, this week I'll do, and maybe next time, or today I'll do, and maybe next time when I stitch, I'll be doing something else. And I know I always call myself the fickle pickle because I'm always switching the way I do things. However, that should show you folks that it doesn't look any different on the front, no matter what style, technique you use. It doesn't look different on the front. The only way you can tell is to flip it over and look at the back. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to try different things on the piece that you're working on. You don't always have to start a new piece just to try a different method of stitching. Just do it on the one that you're working on. No one will ever know unless you're gonna show them the back. Or tell people that, oh, I did 10 different techniques. You know, all of you saw, well, maybe not all of you. I'll have to see if I can find those pictures again. But some of you that have been here for quite a while have seen pictures of the back of my Stitchers Retreat. And God only knows how many different ways of stitching I did on that one. Lots. I was forever switching my style because I was looking for what was going to work. You know, and there's times that the way you stitch, the way I stitch, depends on my mood. There are times I can tolerate parking, and it's like, yeah, that's exactly what I need to do. Or not only my mood, but where I am in the chart. There are areas of a chart that are more conducive to being stitched row by row with parking. There are parts of a chart, like where I'm in now, that it's just as easy to color complete within a given area. you know. So personally, I like the color completing the best, because if you look at, let's make this bigger. If you look at this section now, I'm in this second row of blocks. Basically, it's just all one color to fill in now. I mean, I have one stitch of a color. Well, you can't see me pointing to it, but there's one stitch. And here by the diagonal line, there's 2 stitches of a star shape, but the rest are just this upside down T. Oh, and there's one right side up T. But so then I can just fill in that color. That's a lot easier than working row by row. So, you know, it just all depends on my mood, what I want to do. Where was I? think I unmarked my stuff. Yeah, there we go. Sometimes what I will do is, depending what I'm getting into, I might park a thread down here in this next 10 by 10 square and go back up and fill in those colors. And then, you know, but I won't park gazillion number of threads. I may just park 1 or 2 colors as I work down, but because I really don't want to go terribly far away from where I'm working. But again, that's just it's not a rule. It's just my mood at the time. So yeah, I'm down here now. So I'll keep going down here for just a little bit. And I may just, because I got pretty much thread here yet. That's the other thing. When you're working on these teeny tiny little counts, A, your stitches are so tiny. But B, you use a lot less thread. So an 18-inch length of thread goes a whole lot further on 28 count than it does on 18 count, just to pull a number. You know, so I'm actually, I mean, I don't want to do it to my whole threads that I have pulled for this project, because you never know, you know, am I going to use just a little bit, or am I going to use the whole skein? You just never can quite be sure of that. And I have them cut in 18-inch lengths, but I may just experiment a little bit with when I go to use that length of thread, cutting it in half. Because something this small, an 18-inch length, is almost a little too long. And then till you get to, you know, where you're down close to the end of it, it's starting to get fuzzy and fray and not look so nice. So I really am thinking about cutting them in half. And that will also keep me working, you know, within, I'm not going to get too far away from my island here as I work down. Now, speaking of, this brought me to an observation, my flight of ideas. Loose associations, flight of ideas is where I'm at the moment. Talking about the length of your thread and it getting fuzzy and what have you. reminded me of a video, or of several videos I've watched of Stitch with Me's over the past couple of days. When I'm sitting and stitching, I usually put somebody's Stitch with Me on. And I realize that people like to hear the sound of the thread going through the fabric. That's a sound that people enjoy. And I understand that. I get that. I have a concern with that, though. Because on the other hand, I have often heard people saying, oh, my thread is fraying, or my thread gets so fuzzy, or my thread breaks while I'm stitching. And hearing that sound just made me think about that, about the fact that, oh, okay, we're hearing that sound. What does that sound mean? When you have that loud of a, I don't know what to call it other than a noise, when you're pulling the thread through your fabric, what does that say to you? I'll tell you what it says to me. It says to me that my thread is rubbing against the fabric and making that sound. And if that sound is really loud, which some of these were really loud. In fact, I actually turned the sound down on my TV because that noise that it made running through there was really loud. And I thought, I know that that's friction. I know that that's thread rubbing against the fabric that therefore causes your thread to fray, causes your thread to rip apart eventually after it frays enough. It makes it fuzzy in that process. I just wanted to jump through the TV and say, please use a bit of a larger needle. Please. Please. So that the hole, now you don't want your needle to give you a big gaping hole in your fabric because that doesn't look nice either. But you do want your needle to open up the hole in the fabric enough so that it doesn't affect your thread. Now, while I was watching this, full disclosure, I did not see anyone's thread fray or come apart. It was hard to, when you're just looking at a video like that, it's hard to tell, is it getting fuzzy? But just by that sound, it said to me, it's getting fuzzy. So I guess the point I want to make is, yes, people love to hear that sound of thread going through your fabric. People like that. People find that relaxing or rhythmic or whatever word you want to give it. And that is very true. But when you're looking for that and wanting to hear that, just make sure that it's not terribly loud, because that's what causes your loops start not to go. But that's what causes your thread to fray and to get fuzzy and do all those things that we don't want it to do, because it's frustrating when you're in the middle of a stitch and your thread comes apart. You know, you pull your needle through and, oh yeah, now I have my needle with a tail hanging on it, and why is this not working? And not the rest of my thread. Let's do it down this way. Here I am, the one who demonstrates a loop start, and I'm messing it up. Oh, well, it happens to all of us, doesn't it? Oh, well, nobody's perfect. But I just thought I would have to mention that, because it is frustrating when you want to stitch and, okay, I'm coming up through my fabric and this part keeps coming and this part is nowhere to be found because it is down underneath hanging out. So when you hear that really loud, however that noise is coming through your fabric, get a bigger needle. Just one size bigger. So if you're using a 28 and it's making a lot of noise, go to a 26. It's not going to enlarge the hole that much where you're going to have a big gaping hole in your fabric. But it is going to enlarge the hole enough that your thread is not going to make that really loud noise and fray and fuzz and do all that good stuff. Now I am going to do this stitch because I just am. So it's just some food for thought. Just some food for thought. And save yourself a little bit of frustration. Oh, finally, maybe my mailman's actually going to deliver mail today. Oh, that's another sore subject with me. Very sore subject. I get the, what do they call it? Informed delivery notice in my email every day of the mail that you can expect on any given day. Which is nice to have because, well, especially when you have this kind of weather, if like it was snowing this morning and now I doubt it if we even got an inch, maybe a half an inch. But now it's raining. So if you have yucky weather and you get the informed delivery thing and you're not getting anything that day, you just don't go out and look because you know that there's not going to be anything there. Well, the last time I get an informed delivery every day, Saturday, this just past Saturday, we were supposed to get mail. I've yet to get it. Sunday, there's no mail. Monday, there was mail to be gotten. I've yet to get it. Tuesday, we weren't supposed to get anything. Yesterday, we were supposed to get mail. I've yet to get it. Today, I'm supposed to get mail and 2 packages. I wonder if it will be here. I realize the post office is short. I get that. But I have not received any of my mail since Saturday, which is getting to be a little annoying. And if they want to change routes and only deliver here certain days of the week, fine, go for it. Just let us know that. The sad part is some of what we did not get is for income tax and from the doctors for my husband. Yeah, so I'm a little annoyed. If I don't have it till Monday, I will be going to the post office to pitch a fit. And let me just say this. You don't want to be on the receiving end of that. You really don't. Ask anybody that worked for me and, well, not messed up the first time, but messed up the second or third time with the same thing. Yeah. Yeah. You don't want to be on the receiving end. Oh, what was that? You don't want to be on the receiving end. So, okay, why are we not marking everything here? There we go. Okay, holy smokes. Yeah, so if I don't have it till Monday, I will be going to the post office to issue a complaint. And whatever I have to do to say I have missing mail. And the thing of it is, what's supposed to come today happens to be 2 Hardanger books that I ordered. And I was really looking forward because I ordered them several weeks ago. And it's taking a long time for them to get here. So, yeah, I want them. You know how we are about our needlework. We want that. We don't want to wait. So, I don't know. He went down the other side of the street, so I don't know if that means, I don't know what that means. All I know is I best be getting some mail today. Oh, the story of our lives. So, update on my husband. We are in a holding pattern. I guess if you watched previous video, they could not do his MRI because of a BB in his lip from when he was a kid. So that couldn't be done. So now we're in a holding pattern. He has the biopsy scheduled. They just can't do the particular type that they wanted to, but they can still biopsy. But there's no openings to have that done until close to the end of January. So we're now in a holding pattern again. So we shall see. Ooh, my husband was just going outside. I heard the door. Maybe my package is here. Maybe. Hard to tell. I didn't hear my phone. Well, I have it turned that it won't ding. My camera out front didn't go off. But we shall see. So, oh, I didn't count how many stitches. There will be a video up tomorrow to announce the winners from the from the how many stitches can you stitch in an hour. That'll go up tomorrow. So you can look for that. And probably, let's see. Oh, yeah, we have 45 minutes. I didn't want to make this too long, but I did want to get a little bit of stitching done with you folks before Christmas, where I would actually stitch as opposed to just sitting here socializing with you guys, which I love just as much. I enjoy that too, so don't feel bad about that at all. I don't. That's actually just as much fun, and it's easier. It really is easier to do those kinds of videos than it is to do this, because I have to always think of stuff to talk about, and then I run out of ideas. So I did want to keep this under an hour, and we're already looking at almost 45 minutes. So with that, what I'm going to do is end this here, mark off my stitches so I don't lose my place. There we go. And I'm going to switch my screen here. There we go. And I want to wish each and every one of you a joyous holiday season, whether it's Christmas that you celebrate, Hanukkah, or some other whatever. You know, I hear these days it's not the thing to say Merry Christmas. It's season's greetings or whatever. But I wish each and every one of you a happy holiday season. Make some memories. Make some memories with that, with your family, with your grandkids, or with your kids, or whatever, or something that you look forward to every year at Christmas time, or that they can look back and remember and say, oh, I remember when Nana did this with me. Or I'm hoping one day my grandkids will look back and say, oh, I remember when Nana made me that Christmas stocking. So make some memories. Enjoy your family. Spread joy. Find your joy. And I will see you after Christmas. So have a wonderful time. And remember, the only rules in cross stitch are the ones you set for yourself. So until next time, I will see you then. So bye-bye for now.